Allez, salut à tous, on se retrouve pour le deuxième épisode de ce let's play sur What Remains of Edith Finch. On va l'appeler Edith Finch, ce sera beaucoup plus simple.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Et on est parti direct dans l'histoire en fait. Ah, oui c'est vrai. C'est un jeu raciste et en clavier anglais.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
C'est trop bien, c'est un château. Des parties de Molly étaient encore ici, c'est dégueulasse ça.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Donc c'est là qu'il commence à construire la maison. Ok.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Ok.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Oh, il y a tous les oiseaux. Avec les dates. Derpy. Pas de nom. Bob. Burpy. Lurpy. Rob. Purply. Putain, ils avaient pas d'idée pour les noms. Purpy. Zerpy. Zerpy Junior. Ok. Sven Finch, 1937.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Un homme top.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Ah, la fameuse salle de bain.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Salle de bain rose.
It was a pretty big trace.
Comme ça, tu m'étonnes. Il y avait la photo de la maison.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh, grave stylé.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
J'aimerais trop avoir une maison comme ça avec des passages secrets de partout et tout. Ça serait beaucoup trop bien. Ah, on peut remonter, d'accord. Ah mais je voulais pas. Ah, tu peux y retourner du coup. Milton. Ah, c'est grave stylé. Ah, un truc là.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him.
Tout command center.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Trop bien cette chambre.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Je fais de la balançoire.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam, Calvin, dinner's ready. Coming.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Va faire un looping.
I told him going around was impossible.
Il fait un tour complet.
Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Il est mort en faisant de la balançoire. Tombé de la falaise.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Ok.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
C'était engagé, ça veut dire qu'il est parti à l'armée, hein. J'ai pas compris. Alors j'ai bien vu sur le livre que du coup j'ai pas fait Barbara. Je pense que j'y arrive là du coup dans la chambre de Barbara. Alors du coup je sais pas s'il y a un ordre et tout. Je sais pas trop. On va bien voir.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Ça c'est pour ressortir ça. Je vais l'ouvrir mais ouais là il y a le grenier et là il y a la chambre de Barbara, c'est ça.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Oh une pizza. Ah non. C'est quoi? Il y a une pizza pourtant.
I
Bizarre.
never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Oh, ouais, c'est moi qui joue là. Génial ça.
She wound the key. She listened for Rick.
J'ai trouvé la clé.
The house was silent. and imagine the worst.
Grave stylé.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh, ok. C'était pas vraiment un screamer.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
On monte dans la chambre de Walter. Putain.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Il est plus là. Il est plus là.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Putain. On voit rien là.
She heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night.
Ce soir-là, il y a une
Walter,
faute.
hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Oh.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
LOL. Ok.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Et bien c'est là-dessus qu'on va se laisser pour ce deuxième épisode. Voilà, j'espère que ça vous plaît, j'espère que vous serez là pour les prochains. Moi en tout cas, j'adore ce jeu. Vraiment super sympa. Donc je vous dis à la prochaine pour la suite de ce let's play sur EDITH FINCH. À très bientôt. Ciao.